Tier 1, Chapter 26. After this chapter, I'm going to need to see some comments. I want to know what you're thinking.
Chapter 26. I can't wait another second to call Sherry, and am relieved when she is available to talk. Though I don't know how much she knows, or how much I should say, I need to bounce this off of someone. "Hey, friend," Sherry says, smiling. "Long time no talk." I know. I'm so sorry. We are due for a long chat and ideally a lunch. "What's been going on? You were fantastic at the ceremony. Did you see me? I was seated a few tables away from Eric in the back. I got to watch the whole show." "You mean the whole ceremony?" "No, I mean the whole show between you, Eric, and Nick." "What are you talking about?" Sherry laughs. "Don't pretend to be that oblivious. Eric with his hands all over you, Nick watching you all night while you talked with Cassidy, you looking uncomfortable. It was amazing. I loved it." I groan. "Was it that obvious?" "Oh, chill out. I doubt anybody noticed besides me. And Grace. She was definitely looking your direction more than I would normally expect." "Great," I mutter. "Everyone else was so involved with their own agendas for the evening, I doubt they gave it a second thought. Except when Eric kissed you. A lot of people watched that." I groan again. "No, that was awesome. Who wouldn't want everyone to see how bonded they are with their pair? They were inspired." She laughs at the look on my face. "Not so inspiring when you find out that was the first night Eric and I have spent together in weeks." "It's that bad, huh?" "It's that bad." "Is he back down at headquarters?" "Flew out the next morning. I don't know what the boys are thinking at this point. Eric and I have both talked with them about his research and the need for him to be involved, but I don't know that they really understand what that means." "What does it mean?" Sherry asks, suddenly serious. "I just meant that it might go on like this, for a while." "What's going on, Kate?" When I don't answer immediately, she says, "Never mind, I'm coming over," and signs off before I can object. 15 minutes later, I hear a light knock on the door, and Sherry walks in, giving me a brief hug before charging into the kitchen. "I brought some herbal tea I really like. Let's make it up, and then we can talk." She starts water boiling, finds mugs, and unwraps the tea bags while I search the pantry for our recently harvested honey. Once our tea is steeping, we sit down in the living room. "Okay, fill me in," she says, curling up in the chair and blowing on her tea. "I don't know what to say," I complain weakly. She raises her eyebrow as if disappointed in me, and I sigh. "Things are kind of imploding, I guess." "You guess?" she says sarcastically. "Come on, Kate." Though I know she is goading me, it works, and I begin talking in a rush, the words pouring out of me. "I don't know, Sherry. Eric and I want to be together, but there are demands on him that have changed things. He believes in this project. If he stays with us, he will always feel like he let society down. If he stays there, he will always feel like he let us down. I miss him. The boys miss him. I am sick of doing this by myself, but I would keep going if I knew that he would be back at some point. I don't have any guarantees, and you told me yourself that it might be best to unpair." "I didn't say best," Sherry cuts in. "Just possible." "Well, whatever." I take a sip, almost burning my tongue. "I don't know whether Eric is going to be able to make this decision. He isn't telling me everything." I pause, inspecting Sherry's face. It is a mask of calm, though she seems inordinately engaged with her tea. She knows. "So, what am I supposed to do? Just wait? Hope that it all works out? Or move on?" I ask. "What would moving on entail?" Sherry asks nonchalantly, as if simply inquiring about the weather. The question makes my nostrils flare, but I mirror her tone. Really, the question should be, is it even possible? I love Eric and can't imagine myself without him. I exhale deeply. But the boys need someone besides just me, and honestly, I'm lonely. I hesitate. I need someone besides just me. "Are you thinking that you want Stephen to be around more?" she asks, her voice sweet and innocent. You know I'm not talking about Stephen, I mutter acerbically under my breath. Sherry smiles, taking another sip of her tea. Just keeping you honest. Yes, Nick is incredibly attractive, I say, throwing my hands up. But he's 8 years younger than I am. What, we pair, have some kids, then I die and he has to raise them on his own? I'm old, Sherry. Why would he want to do that? I don't know why, but I know that he wants to. How do you know? He ran your numbers. How do you know that? I ask, exasperated. I get notified anytime anyone looks at your file, Kate. I saw him poking around, and I saw how he looked at you at the ceremony. Do you want proof? Without waiting to hear my response, she pulls up a video on her sensor. This, she taps forward on the video, is Nick's face while you were introducing Cassidy. I watch myself speaking at the podium, impressed with myself. I actually do look quite nice. Then my eyes are drawn over my left shoulder to where Nick stands watching me. His face is engaged, smiling, intense. That's just Nick, I say. He's always dialed up. Not like that, Kate. She turns off the video. Okay, let's say I do pair with Nick. What happens to the boys? And what if I can't have as many kids as he wants? Do I need to repeat myself? I am old. I have stretch marks. I have literal brain scans showing my mental decline. Slight. What? I ask. Slight mental decline, Sherry corrects. Fine, slight mental decline, but still, we would have only 7 more years before we would risk major mutations through procreation. I would have to be pregnant the entire time to even get 4 babies here. You could do fertility. Maybe have a couple sets of twins? I throw a pillow at her. She laughs. Seriously, Kate, it's an option. And you don't know how long you are going to live. Your body is doing great, and you haven't seen any DNA deterioration yet. You could live into your 50s easy. That's wishful thinking, but let's say that does happen. Nick could still procreate much more effectively with another person, someone who is young. What help would that be if it wasn't as good of a match? Who cares if they could have more kids? The point is that your kids would be genetically superior, quality over quantity. How could they be so superior to put both of us through this? I press. I want her to say it. I saw the numbers he ran. You two have incredible allele matches. I think it would be really difficult for him to find something better, she explains generally, without missing a beat. I just find it very convenient that all of a sudden my pair is taken from me and, out of the blue, this new perfect match shows up. What are the chances of that, Sherry? Seriously, it was hard enough for me to find Eric. We sit in silence, sipping our tea. Sherry finally speaks in a low whisper. Kate, you're smart. I'm not going to pretend that there's not more at work here. But I need you to trust me on this. Eric is making the right choice. I love you, and I don't want you to be miserable. She looks at me intently. Let him go. Let him move forward with this project. I can't say more than that. I am grateful that she is at least trying. What about the boys? I ask gently. There are plenty of good options. They have a good relationship with their mentors. We can easily get them in for reversal therapy over the next few months. This not-so-theoretical scenario starts to sink into me, and I tear up. I don't want them to forget their dad. Sherry sets her tea down and moves close to me. They won't, Kate. They will just remember the good and have manageable grief. Tears start rolling down my cheeks. I don't want to, Sherry. I just want Eric. She holds me while I cry. I am not strong enough to do this. More honestly, I just don't want to. I don't want to. I scream this over and over inside my head. The pressure around my eyes is almost unbearable. There is no way to escape this cognitive dissonance because, after all, I am resigned to leave Eric. I know it's the right call, for his sake more than mine. Will this be how I feel for the rest of my life? After a while, I pull away and grab a tissue to blow my nose. We can do reversal therapy on you too, Sherry says gently. You won't have to feel this pain forever. My world seems frozen for a moment. It feels like such a betrayal to remove any of that hurt, because it would lessen the depth of the good. I shrug and tell her I'll think it over. I have no closure, I say. I haven't said goodbye. I think it's probably better this way, Sherry says, rubbing my back. But I would be happy to arrange for Eric to come home for a day or two if you think that would help. It might just make it harder. I'll consider it. I find it hard to believe that anything could make this harder. She holds me again for a couple of minutes, then grabs our mugs and takes them into the kitchen. I follow her and thank her for coming over. She turns around, putting her hands on my shoulders. You are strong, Kate. Most people in Tier 1 only ever have to give up their time and energy. You are being asked to give up someone you love, a relationship that fulfills you. I can't pretend to know how that feels, but I do know how it feels to want someone to love and never find them. I can't help but think that having Eric for 12 years is better than never having him. And having another man ready and waiting to love you? I know it probably doesn't help right now, but maybe try to focus on shifting perspective from all that you are losing to all that you have. I give her a hug and thank her again. I watch her car as it glides away down the street. In that moment, I become deeply aware of how tired I am. My body seems to melt into itself, retreating from all the unknowns. I go through the motions of shutting down the house for the night, then walk down the hall and bury myself in the bed covers.